Yo, Sanjay Uche here, people, bringing you my review on Dragon Ball Super Episode 96. And after waiting like 20 weeks or what seems like forever, we're finally getting into the start of the Tournament of Power. So, let's get right into it. So, by extension of what I just said, this episode really helped to push the plot forward. But more so than that, the episode itself was very dependent on, well, not really dependent, but it was very character interaction driven, if you get what I mean. So we didn't get any fighting. Well, we got a bit, but let's just get into it. So we start this episode with the gods of the universes that aren't competing, which is 1, 5, 8, and 12. They're gods, the gods of destruction, angels, and Kaioshin, come to the world of Void to actually see Zeno. And they actually end up testing out the ring itself, the gods of destruction, through a sparring match, which I found to be interesting because we don't get to see gods of destruction fighting each other often, if at all. So that was a definite plus for the episode, honestly speaking. And even though this episode, well, by the nature of the characters involved in this episode, we got a bit of entertainment to say the least. Some lots of interesting moments, but they all ended up being comedic in like not intentionally, but they came out really funny. No matter how you slice and dice it. So this first part of the episode, we had the gods of destruction of universes 1, 5, and 8 sparring off to test a ring created by the Daishinkan, the Great Priest. And we get some good choreography here. Well, some decent. Not over the top, but it was decent of them showing off their abilities in this little sparring match, which was it was a sight to see. It was a cool little tidbit there. The action and choreography was pretty well done there, I suppose. And then it's after this that they reveal weaknesses in the ring, right? But with their luck, and I think Gene, however you pronounce Universe 12's God of Destruction's name, he stood out of the action. But when the other gods revealed the weakness in the ring, they ended up having to be the one to repair the ring in the end. So it just kind of came off like Universe 12's Gene basically knew how it was going to end, and it was kind of implied he knew that's how it was going to go down in the end. So I found that to be funny, a pretty humorous aspect of this first act of the episode, really and truly. And it's always interesting to see the gods of destruction, or the gods in general, interact among each other, which I must say was fun to see. Now we go to basically the second act of this episode, where we have Frieza, who's just been brought to the Universe 7 camp by Goku, interacting with various members. And just as you'd expect, characterization is on point, as of course these characters most of these characters who've had a history with Frieza wouldn't be comfortable with him just joining the team all of a sudden. And you can see everybody's kind of under guard and all of that. And even some people voicing their disapproval, such as Tien. Of course, Vegeta doesn't miss the opportunity to try and mock Frieza by saying that the halo looks good on him. And of course, that kind of just explodes into a little, I guess, I wouldn't say argument, but interesting exchanges between Frieza and Vegeta, which is only to be expected. Of course, this act, we're presented with some humorous moments with them putting Vegeta in situations you'd absolutely find hilarious. I mean, Frieza holding hands with Vegeta, like, in a friendship circle, you'd think you'd never see Vegeta in a situation like that. But just the thought of it being in this episode, it didn't exactly happen that way, but we did just get some humorous parts there. So basically, they're on their way to the world of Void, and Whis suggests forming a circle and holding hands. In typical Whis fashion, he tries something to unite the team, but in a humorous sense. Of course, Vegeta's not having it, and Beerus just Beerus holds Frieza's hand instead, and they all go to the world of Void. So there was that, and of course, it's at this point where we're introduced to all the other universes, all the fighters we've been seeing up to date, plus the remaining members. Because at one point, I was thinking that, and I think a lot of people share this opinion, that a lot of these universes may not arrive with all 10 members, but we're quickly proven wrong as each universe has managed to bring 10 fighters. And I said the designs for these characters, um, they're okay to interesting to say the least. I know that's a kind of like a weird scale to have, but it was good seeing it. It was kind of getting me hyped, honestly speaking. And we have Goku. We have Universe 6 there, of course, with Hit and the Universe 6 Saiyans, and of course, our main team members, Magetta and Botamo, with a few others. I'd have to rewatch the episode. I rewatched that scene because I didn't make note of how all the members of Universe 6 looked like. But the fact is, we have all the universes here, and then we have Goku and Vegeta interacting with the Universe 6 Saiyans, of course. And we have this nice little scene of Goku and Khalifa, with Goku being his usual self and Khalifa being the bad bitch she is. He's not having Goku's goody goody two shoes, hey, nice to meet you kind of attitude, which was interesting to see. As I've mentioned, this episode is really character interaction driven, so we have all the characters basically interacting, not all of them, but most. So we eventually get to the point where Universe 11 arrives, and the power that Goku and Vegeta are sensing from them shocks them to, I wouldn't say no end, but it throws them off their guard. And it's at this point that the Universe 11 members arrive and we are introduced to Jiren. Of course, Goku can't help but go over to Topo and make dialogue with him saying, hey, I want to finish all that we we were doing before. Of course, Topo's not having it. He's not in this for personal squabbles. The fate of his universe is on the line. Like, shit, Goku. Damn it, man. But of course, Goku, being Goku, goes over to Jiren, and is at this point that Jiren's actually behind him. So we're getting a little tidbits, a little foreshadowing of how powerful Jiren is. Of course, Jiren's not having Goku's little, I guess, fighting obsession either, because and his voice was like, I was making a joke earlier today that he might have a squeaky voice, but no, not at all. He kind of, I'm not sure if the same voice actors hits, but who knows? But his voice sounds, it meets the credentials. It's good. So there was that. So, and after that, it's at this point that the gods that were repairing the ring, the gods of destruction, they hurried up, they send the missing parts to the different sections of the ring, with the characters dodging said materials. And it's at this point that when the materials are heading for Goku and Jiren, that Goku jumps out of the way, but Jiren just stays in place. And he just knew that they wouldn't hit him. But it's after this that they show all the universes. The Omni King Zeno himself comes out and makes a few words, and that's basically your episode. As I said, the merit in this episode is the fact that it really helped to push the plot forward. We're finally getting into the tournament of power itself. Even though we've had kind of 50-50 execution of the episodes up to this point, we are finally here, honestly, people, and I'm glad for that. A very entertaining episode, to say the least, character interaction driven, as I've put it. And oh shit, how could I forget one of the moments that was being looked forward to? Well, one specific part of this episode that people are looking forward to the most, I'd say, was the interaction between Frieza and Frost. And it kind of continues that potential subplot that I mentioned that might be building from episode 95, where Frieza and Frost, it's confirmed they're teaming up and they're going to try to manipulate and have their way in this tournament, manipulating the gods and all that. Of course, a foolproof plan hasn't been disclosed to us, the viewers, or I don't know if Frieza has the complete sense of what he actually wants out of this tournament, but we'll find as we go. But interesting subplots. That was definitely an X plus for this episode. Love it. It's always good when you have an overarching arc, that big umbrella, which is the arc itself, and you have a lot of subplots, interesting subplots, building. So that was pretty cool as well. Overall, this episode was pretty good. Art was okay to good. The artwork, animation, it was okay, I guess. But as I said, the episode wasn't really driven by that. So even if the art quality and the animation wasn't all that, I think it would still manage to shine. But the fact that the art and animation was okay, at least it helped the episode as well. So I got no complaints there. But yeah, that's all I have for this review, people. So let me know what you thought about the episode. Are you hyped for the Tournament of Power? Which universe are you willing to bring? I mean, I guess most people might bring our universe, Universe 7, but I'm looking forward to seeing how this all goes down. I mean, especially Jiren. Jiren seems crazy OP, but let's see how it goes. This is Sanjay Uchiha. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.